Hi, everyone. Welcome to Here for the Health of It podcast. We have a great show today. We have Chelsye, Harp, and Molly Moore from Intrigue Design and Events. We talk about all things wedding. We talk about events. We talk about Southern hospitality. We asked Chelsye about her engagement story and what that looked like. So I hope you enjoy. Thanks for listening.
This episode is brought to you by our sponsor, Warren and Dillon, the Midland's trusted personal injury lawyers. Here's some great advice from our sponsor.
Hey there, Brett Warren with Warren and Dillon. I wanted to talk to you today about some of the biggest mistakes you can make when it comes to dealing with insurance companies. I think one of them is giving a recorded statement to the insurance company. The problem is that the insurance companies, they're doing these recorded statements to help their case and to hurt yours. And so they're going to ask some sneaky questions that are designed to hurt your case. One quick example, they'll ask how many feet away you were from the other car when you first noticed them. Nobody really knows the answer to that. But what they're going to do is they're going to say, hey, you should have noticed that other car, and now you're 20% at fault. So do yourself a favor, just don't do it or talk to a lawyer first. Trusted advice, proven results, Warren and Dillon.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Here for the Health of It podcast. I'm Dr. Randy here with Dr. Tom, as always, and we have a great show for you today. We have two guests. We have Chelsye Harp, who's the owner of Intrigue Designs and Events, and Molly Moore, who's the event planner for Intrigue Design and Events. And you guys are going to talk about all things event planning.
All things.
All right. So welcome to the show. Thanks for being on here.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for making the trip from Charleston, first and foremost.
It was a nice little drive, minus the construction. But other than that, it was great.
Always.
Yeah.
And so tell us how you got into this. Kind of tell people how it started, what got you excited about it.
Okay. Well, I never thought I would be excited about event planning, to be honest. I kind of fell into the role. So I owned a graphic design and marketing company out of Hilton Head and started doing branding and product launches and grand openings. And we were always outsourcing those things to an event planner. And it wasn't quite living up to my pickiness and expectations of things. So we would end up going through and just redoing things anyway. So finally I said, why don't we start doing this in-house instead of outsourcing? So my career kind of started more with corporate events and social events. And then one of our clients asked us to plan their wedding. And I was like, absolutely not. Like, no, that is a hard no. I've never done that before. And they were like, well, we respect you. You get us. Like, we know that you're going to take care of us. Like, please just do this. And then I finally caved after about a week of conversations. They're like, we're not going to do business with you anymore if you don't plan our wedding. And I was like, okay, that's a lie, but still. So I said yes. And then they gave me 3 weeks to plan said wedding. So I was like, all right, well, let's figure this out. So they wanted to do it in Atlanta. We planned it in 3 weeks, and I stood in the W Hotel looking over the Atlanta skyline and fell absolutely in love with what weddings meant and the affirmation of like just where you're at, what you're doing, and you're literally planning the biggest day of somebody's life. So within a year later, Intrigue was started and born in 2008. So it's been about 16 years, I think now. Wow. So I've been doing it for quite a minute, but absolutely love it. We say that we're sickly addicted to our job. I can't imagine ever doing anything else.
So what was the leap from graphic designer to wedding planner? Because I missed that part.
So with graphic design, whenever we would do someone's branding or within Hilton Head, we did a lot of product launches or grand openings for restaurants. We worked with a custom like home builder association. So we would be hosting, we do all their marketing and branding, and then we would host a like an event for their like homes or like their new stuff that they were kind of putting out. So that's kind of where it like led in. I had a partner, she did all of the graphic design, and then I handled all of like the business and sales side. And then we eventually started doing like the product launches and openings and events while within the branding side of it.
Today's episode is brought to you by our sponsor, Columbia Family Chiropractic, with 3 easy to get to locations, one in Forest Acres, which is by Trader Joe's, one in O'Neill Court by the DMV, and one in the Northeast by Sand Hills. You'll be sure to have somewhere near you. They offer a ton of services from corrective care, on-site digital x-rays, spinal decompression for bulging or herniated discs, dry needling for injuries, pediatric care, and a Class 4 laser. They accept all your major insurances. And if you mention this ad, you'll get a discount on your first appointment. Check out their website at cfcforhealth.com or Google Columbia Family Chiropractic. That's CFC4FOR health.com.
I know it's a little
Wow.
all over the place.
That's cool.
I just didn't like sitting behind the computer. So I was like, what can I do to, do something that's a little bit more of the creative world, not knowing that like events was really going to be like an end all be all game for me.
Wow. In just the high pressure of weddings, you said it's the biggest day of somebody's life. What is,
for sure.
How do you deal with that? Like if you were to pick events, like a corporate event sound like, okay, cool.
Right.
If you screw up the flowers, the food, no big deal.
For sure.
How did you settle into dealing with pressure?
I mean, I can kind of go and then you can kind of like talk to, I kind of feel like just who I am as a person, I could call myself like a duck on water. Like I can kind of just glide through and calm, cool, collected, but I'm going a million miles an hour. So I feel like just maybe I was born to kind of be in that position, because a lot of people just say that there comes a calminess. Now, not to say I won't go in a closet and scream and cry and just have like a moment.
Maybe take a shot at tequila here and there.
I am a tequila girl. But yeah, so like I think that like when you're dealing with that, it comes to a lot of like details and, personalities. It's funny. I actually wanted to be a child psychologist when I was like growing up, which is kind of crazy. But I think the psychology aspect of it is something that also kind of plays into it, and being able to be that for someone and understand, like help them to understand, like it's not the end of the world. We're going to figure it out. We're going to make it all happen. But being able to kind of handle that and internalize it, and then ultimately like be able to bring their vision to life. It takes a certain person for sure.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Molly, how about you?
It definitely takes a certain person to, kind of handle the stress that we're dealing with, but it's also good stress.
Yeah.
I think there's obviously bad stress that comes with it, if things go wrong, but I feel like we would be really bored without the stress of that and without the pressure. I think me and Chelsye both, and successful event planners, I think can all relate to just being more comfortable in chaos. Rather, like I'd be so bored if there wasn't like an emotional component.
Little drama.
Like business, like corporate events don't really have that emotional component. So we get to not necessarily have a little bit more fun, but it's a little bit less stress. But that can get sometimes really boring. So we always like to come back to the weddings, and when it's like a more personalized like stress, it's like more fun.
Although
I would
will
be so
say,
bored.
Yeah, we did plan a national event for Kuhn. It's a cosmetic line. They gave us 40 days.
Oh yeah,
and it was like almost a $500,000 event. And they're like, "Hey, 1, 2, 3, go."
They were so funny because they'd had the venue booked for a year.
For a year, and I'm like, "What have you been doing?"
And they're like, "Oh, well,
here you go.
We can do it," but like.
And it was amazing. So I think that, like, I don't know, Intrigue itself is not just like a wedding company. We love the wedding side of it, but we do a lot of different things. I mean, from weddings to corporate events. We also produce festivals. We just got back from Nantucket Wine and Food Fest, and that was a huge success. We produced Charleston Wine and Food Fest. Wow. So our I guess we
do a lot of different things.
We do, and that kind of keeps it interesting. Like the wedding side of it is amazing. The emotional component of it is great, but then kind of dealing with like being a designer and being able to design things that are like unique and different and more like guest experience is awesome as well.
So this is what's going through my mind. A lot of organization, right?
For sure.
But you're creative, and it feels like two opposite sides of the brain.
Right.
So what do you use for organization? Like, how do you split your time up to go, all right, I'm going to focus on creative and design, and then I'm going to go over here and have spreadsheets.
A lot of spreadsheets.
We do. We also have an amazing online planning software system that we use for all of our clients. So, because 90% of our weddings are destination. No one ever lives in the city that they're getting married, typically.
No kidding.
And our corporate events and social events and festivals, they're the same way. So, we obviously are not in Nantucket, but we're dealing with all like Nantucket vendors or Boston vendors, and then with our events in Charleston, most of our corporate clients are coming from other places, and our weddings as well. So online planning software is amazing. I don't know how I did it with Google Sheets and Dropbox and all the things.
How did you do it like before?
Back in the day.
So organized, like
internet.
Folder after folder.
Were you, or was that 2008?
I
was 8. I don't know.
You were younger.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's an age difference.
So I love unrealistic expectations for deadlines.
100%.
Yes.
Because if you give somebody 6 weeks,
right,
they'll plan it in 6 weeks.
For
or
sure.
you give them 6 months, they'll plan it in 6 months. And I feel like you'd have to make a lot of decisions without back and forth all the time. Like if I give somebody a year to do something, they're going to ask me a million questions that I don't want to answer.
Right.
But if I
100%.
give them 6 weeks, they're just going to get it done and leave me alone.
And then be done.
We try to set like days to do
Expectations.
really big meetings. Like we'll have like minimum an hour with our clients. Like if that's what you're kind of talking about, like keeping that organized, and we'll try to just hit every part and open up. Like before we get started, what are some points we want to talk about? Because we have our points, but like
Right.
for you, because a lot of event planning and people planning their weddings specifically, social media plays a huge part in that. So a lot of brides will be on TikTok and Pinterest and Instagram, and they'll see something and send it to us, like 10 o'clock at night and being like, oh my gosh, I love this. Like I want to change my floral.
We're
Like I want to do it like this.
I
Get
never
off
thought
Pinterest.
about that.
And so we're always open to that. Like we don't really have boundaries when it comes to our clients and like time wise. So,
Although we
if
should.
we do have a deadline, we'll come down to it and we'll tell them, hey, we need this decision, today.
Right.
But a lot of times, deadlines are we can always get it done. It just might depend on what that's going to look like. It might look a little bit different, but
Right. And then the flexibility of it, like if you are, so for, a corporate event or even a wedding, if it's a shorter amount of time, it's like, then you kind of have to just be okay with like the financial side of it. So if you're asking for us to plan something in, 6 to 8 weeks where we might have less options for vendors, or we might be paying a premium because of that turnaround. So when you have a little bit longer for planning, you're able to kind of like pick and choose at that point. You have a little bit more flexibility. Whereas when you're doing something at such a shorter, window, we just make sure that our clients are fairly aware of like, we might be spending more money because your first choice isn't available, or we just
gotta
have to
ship
do
it.
like a quick turnaround, or we have like shipment things that have to come in.
we might have to get it from like a rental company in Miami. So it might
Right.
take a little bit more money. So
Which that's what we ended up doing that for the event in Charleston. We ended up having to get all of our rentals from Miami to come to Charleston because there was nothing available in Charleston.
No way.
Yeah. So
That's
they're like, we want a
you know,
certain look. And so
right.
we can get it. You just have to
You
be
just
kind
might
of
have to pay
comfortable
for
with
it.
some
Yeah.
different
Has
avenues.
there been any clients that give you open budget, just whatever it takes?
I think there's always a
there's
ceiling.
yeah, or at least an estimate. So they're
Yeah.
like, if we have $1 million, that's great. But typically they're like, this is kind of on average, like where we'd want to be, or kind of like a guide. We also don't want to like design or present something that would be out of a budget or expectation.
Right.
So we, make sure with all of our clients that we have that clear idea of like where they're at and where they want to be. Because we don't want to also do something and then them fall in love with it and then be like, just kidding.
Just kidding, we can do
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
You can't get that. So we definitely like to have that like open, transparent conversation. No one ever likes to talk about budgets, but I'm like, that's like my favorite conversation. Let's get it out of the way. Let's
Right.
kind of chat through it. Let's see like what your priorities are and where you want to be, so that we can make sure that like the expectations are met and we're all on the same page there.
And there's probably some eccentric personalities too that you would
Very.
deal with at $1 million budget.
Very.
For sure. I would say with all of our clients, we're lucky. We only take on so many events a year. So we do get to be a little bit more selective through that process of just saying like, I think this is going to be a great fit, or you know what, I don't think that's going to work. I'm so sorry, we're booked and we can't take on your event. Because I think that like, as much as we tease, we say like to our wedding clients, I'm like, I feel like I'm marrying you as much as you're marrying each other, because like we're in this process with you. Our corporate clients, like I treat every event that we do with their brand as if it was like my own. I want that kind of like expectation there. So there are some crazy ones out there that probably wouldn't be the best fit for Intrigue, but we can refer them to other people, or we can kind of just like chat through the process of like where they're at and what their expectations are, and making sure that they like are aligned with ours.
What's the process? I guess take us through the process of if somebody wanted to put on an event or a wedding, what's that look like day one?
You're probably either in our Instagram DMs or
Slide into the DMs.
Slide in the
Into the
DMs.
DMs. Which
they'll
we
see
love.
they'll see some stuff on our Instagram and be like, I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or they'll shoot you an email. I think we have like a submission form on our website, of course, and we just kind of ask date of event,
Right.
what's your budget look like, stuff like that.
Priorities. Yeah. Any time that anybody connects me with social media nowadays, we've gotten stuff on TikTok, we've gotten stuff on Instagram,
Yeah.
even through like Pinterest of, I saw that you guys did this, and, we'd love to connect. We love the design. I think that that's something that we're maybe a little bit different than some other planners. I don't, if I've done something that you've really liked, or if you've seen a wedding or an event in a magazine or online, I want to know like what intrigues you about it. I'm not going to replicate an event. I've already done one. And then two, I was like, I don't want you to take something that you've just seen a picture of and then be like, okay, I want to do this like exact same thing. But like, what about it, intrigues you? Like, what about it like speaks to you? And then that way we can kind of like customize something that is like personal to them and not just replicate weddings. Because if I did that, I would be very bored and I would retire.
We figure out that we take like an initial call
to make sure.
Again, a lot of our clients, I would say like 90% of our clients are not local.
Right.
We love our local clients because we can do a lot more in-person stuff, but a lot of our meetings are initially on virtual. Google Meets, we love her. But then, we kind of learn about their event, what they want through an initial call.
like
and we'll send out, we'll kind of send over our stuff. And if they want to move forward, then we go straight head on into design.
Do you have them send you like a mood board, or what's like Pinterest? What kind of things do you do there?
Social media. We use the online software has like a mini
Design
Pinterest,
studio.
like a design studio where they just upload a bunch
Like
of
a little,
pictures, and we kind of take that. Some clients have no idea like what direction they want to do.
Right.
Like
Sure.
we've had a client. I think the only picture she had uploaded was like a donut wall, which I love
Wanna have
that. Like
donuts.
we love a donut wall, but like she did not know.
She didn't know
At all. We're still kind of working through that, like with that couple, but there's like a place that can upload photos. We love the more photos, the better.
Yeah. Or trusting us to like go down our rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Like we're like, hey, if searching for things is too overwhelming, just upload 5 or 6 photos of like a direction you want to go in, and then allow us to kind of like take that and then run with it. From
We're really
there.
good at speaking kind of the language of aesthetic, and kind of seeing 5 pictures and we're saying, okay, I think I know what you're talking about.
Right.
And then sometimes we'll do a complete 180. We have a couple coming up, I think like in December. They had initially a completely different idea, and then
we completely changed it.
rabbit
We went
hole,
to-
the most
yeah.
unique pieces that we could find, and they're like,
They're
oh
like,
my
we love
gosh.
it. And that's kind of
I love
nerve-wracking. Like when you present to a client, like when they have one idea and then you're like, I feel like they're not really feeling it. Like something's not connecting. And then we come back and we're like just off the cuff, like here's a brand new design, complete different color palette, complete different rentals. And then on the call, they're like, oh my God, this is perfect. Like this is exactly what we could not like convey to you that we wanted. So I think that that's really cool that our clients just come to us and trust in us that, we're going to get it and that we're here to like kind of like support them through that
Kind of
process.
why we have the design in our name, because a lot of our clients are trusting us for full design.
We're not
don't really
just
have an idea. They kind of, will come with some colors, but we're like, you know what? We saw this one plate at this one rental company. We should design a wedding around this plate.
around one plate or a pillow or
Do
whatever.
you guys dabble in art outside of work, like painting, ceramics?
I've kind of always been
She has.
super, super artistic.
Drawing.
And more, I think like painting.
Painting?
Yeah. I think just art in general, whether or not I'm, Picasso or not, like I'm
You just
definitely
get inspired and start going.
Yeah, I just I'm a very, very, very creative person. And so that's kind of, I think, where that design came. I was never going to be a painter. So
Did you guys draw a lot as kids?
did I, Mom?
Mom's in the studio.
Mom's in the studio. She came.
I
say
mean,
hi.
did you?
Like doodling,
doodle and stuff?
anything?
Oh yeah, I was always drawing something, whether it was on the walls or the piece of paper. I was
Right.
drawing something.
I was such a weirdo.
I was always designing something, whether like
I was such a weirdo. I
So-
never.
you never
that.
did. You
I,
never like played Webkins and designed their rooms.
So
or
I
something?
love.
She was
like,
doing math in the bathroom.
Staples.
She
Like
was doing-
literally.
You were playing with
Reading.
staples.
No, like I
Oh.
love to go to like Staples and like office supply stores. Like that
Okay.
was like my
Oh,
like
here's some new
toy.
Post-its.
Right.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
mean, I
beautiful.
just I don't know. I worked. My dad was an entrepreneur, and so like I would go into like his office and like file things and organize. And that's what when you're talking
Yeah.
about like the left and right brain, my brain is very like even. Like I feel like
Gotcha.
from the creative side, I like just dive in and it's my world and I love it. But then like on the business and like logistics, and I think that's where like the kind of like the festival production stuff comes in, is I love that. I
Yeah.
love like making things fit and making things work, and timeline is, very important, things of that nature. So like I never really was like growing up like a
Yeah.
doodler.
See, like
a painter,
back
yeah.
in my day, we got the paper bags that you had to cover your textbooks to like protect
Oh yeah.
them.
Oh
Did
yeah.
you guys have that?
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. So like those
No way Molly had. You had that?
the art.
Yes.
No, Molly had a
Yes,
laptop
the paper
and that's
covers,
it.
and then
Oh, I
you
was
draw
about
on
to say,
them.
She was not.
Yeah.
We
And
did-
that's for
we
the
would
art
draw.
people. I mean, they
Yeah.
went nuts on those
Yes,
things.
we
Yeah.
definitely did that. And we also like would make our own like an art. Like they had those big, you know, in art
Well, it was
class
like
they had
the
those
brown
big
paper
sheets
ones.
of they had
Yeah.
like big sheets of paper, and then we'd like tape it.
We definitely did
And
that.
then like more towards the end of middle school, we had the ones that were already
like
Done.
already done, and then you just bought them at Five Below. Or something.
I don't even know what
Yeah.
you guys are talking
You guys didn't do
about.
that in Canada?
No.
Oh, you
What'd
don't know
do
what we're
with your
talking
how'd you
about?
protect
Put
your textbooks?
You put your textbook in your backpack.
No, it's
But
like
what about
That seems
how do
like
you
a
make
normal-
it?
Or you put it in your
Oh,
locker.
it's all beat up.
Yeah, but the covers are so ugly. You got to
last.
make it
Right.
like you.
right.
You write your name in
It's gotta
the
be
front
personalized.
cover, all that.
So it's to prevent people from drawing in the book. Probably.
Pretty much.
And
Yeah.
so
But people
it's-
still did.
Yeah, and then it helps
Yeah.
you like disassociate from class.
Yeah.
And do in
Yeah.
daydream.
Yeah,
always
something
had-
to
What else did you do?
distract all my students.
Yeah.
Here's a blank paper.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I feel like our teachers sometimes would like not let us.
Oh, I had to pay
Have
for my
them.
books every year because I had to highlight in them. I was like a highlighter. my parents
Oh,
They're
hated
like, got to
me.
return this at the end.
Oh
You're like,
yeah,
I don't
no.
care. I'm
No,
highlighting.
I'm highlighting in it. I'm sorry.
I
Here's
didn't
my
do that. I
notes.
went to public school.
I did too. I had to pay for my books.
Oh, okay.
They were like, "This is so bad," but I mean, that's where I guess
That
the
is so funny.
organization.
All right. Now, I saw on your website, you guys do 3D models of like what it's going to look like.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Wow.
So if they're not local, how do you know what the, like Nantucket Field, for example?
Right.
What do you, how do you do that?
That one's a little bit easier because you
I created a field.
You,
Oh, I guess
you
it's a field,
create
yeah.
a field. But
That's easy. Oh,
Yeah.
it's a
Oh, it's an easy one.
Yeah.
you
never
actually,
mind.
yeah.
All right.
But like, say it's like,
Like
a venue. Like we have a venue, a really, really cool venue in Miami coming up, and it's not on. So the program's called Mary, and they have a bunch of venues already on the
Like on the
site,
site
and you
for,
can
yeah.
choose from. But we're
gonna
you know,
submit it.
yeah, we're pretty talkative with the 3D rendering people.
Yeah,
What are they called?
It's they're developers.
The
so they're
developers,
like,
thank
yeah.
you. And we'll send like a venue, and we'll talk to the venue and say, can you send us over like a blueprint or schematics and stuff
schematics,
like
yeah.
that, and they'll render the actual venue on the website for us, and then we can go in and design it out. So we work with the program itself to create this 3D model, and then you can use it in the future over and over.
For that place.
For that place.
And anyone
that's
else
sweet.
can use
And
it
anyone
as
else
well.
can. Yeah. So if another planner, which I'm surprised honestly that
Yeah, I'm shocked.
Vizcaya is a beautiful museum that's in Miami, and so we have a wedding there in a couple months, and it's not on the program. So we're going to submit everything to them. They'll actually render it. They'll do everything to scale so that when we go in and design around it, then we'll be able to like show our clients like what it looks like.
That's amazing.
It's awesome.
That's all. So what's the average or the age range of clients that you guys have? Because
Well,
20-year-olds would probably be different than a 70-year-old's getting married.
yeah,
For sure.
I would say right now we are in the South. You know, Charleston is still the South.
Yeah.
I'm from like Missouri, so I never thought of South Carolina being the South, but
But it is.
it
It's
is.
definitely
I was
the
always,
South.
yeah, it definitely is, and I get flamed every time I say that. But there is a large group of people that are like a lot younger than you would think. Like we've had a lot of 20s, like, but we
20s.
also have a lot of. I would say the most average is your early 30s.
Yeah.
Probably the good old classic American average for
Yeah. I feel like
wedding
it
clients.
has
But we
been
do have like
different.
older clients too.
Yeah. It's like the past couple of years have been strange. Like I think with COVID, like after COVID, obviously everyone was a little bit older because they were waiting to get married at that point. And so we had that kind of come through. And then I would say like recently it's been
pretty
like
young.
25 to like, I don't know, 28, something around that range.
Yeah.
But then sometimes we'll get like, they'll be 32 to 34. But it has, I don't know, it has been
Pretty
more of
young
a range.
lately.
But yeah.
Like our, I
Stay-
think, yeah,
Yeah.
So you're kind of like their mom sometimes.
100%.
and then I come in and I'm like their bestie.
We do have a good duo going on. Yeah, I mean, it's just and sometimes when you're kind of planning at that point, mom sometimes is not your best friend. Like they're,
sure.
it's mother of the bride can kind of be a little. I think that the dynamics, depending on what the dynamics are, and it's funny, in one of our questionnaires, we're like, what is the dynamic of your family? Because
Smiley
we want to
face.
know.
Like,
Smiley
is there
face.
anything you need to tell us?
So that we can like help to mitigate anything, to kind of chat through like any issues that they think that they're going to have throughout the planning process. But then yes, I do become like their mother of, okay, this is what we can do. Here's how we can stay on budget. Here's like the designs that you're looking for. I am seeing more, which I'm kind of excited about. I mean, more with like the Gen Zs, is that the right word? like figuring out like more of a luxury style with smaller weddings, which has been kind of nice. Like they're really concentrating on like the overall like guest experience and the feel of the wedding and what does all of that look like. And, you know, sometimes when you think of the younger crowds getting, or the younger group of people getting married, you don't really think of that as much because it's, I mean, they're on TikTok, they're on Instagram, they're like, I mean, social, you know, influence is so big for them. But then it's like, oh, JK, I just want to do something very small and intimate. And,
JK.
you know,
all their friends are online.
friends are online. So I'm like, okay. But I'm loving that. I think that like being able to do more like custom designs and custom builds and like more personalized touches with what we do. I think that that's why a lot of people come to us, is because we're like that. We're a little bit more of like out of the box thinkers when it comes to overall design. And so that's something that I'm loving as far as kind of having those conversations and being said mom.
But yes, this is mother.
This is mother.
Mother Goose
Yes.
over here.
Yeah.
What percentage is weddings versus other events of your business?
Ooh, now
70
it's like
70-30 or
I would bring it to
Down?
like 60-40.
60-40.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah.
It depends on the year.
So full disclosure, I watched Southern Hospitality. Great show.
What do you think?
I didn't realize you guys did the launch of the wieners though. I thought he did that.
So well, he did. We just
Oh,
I
you-
just have helping him with all
Like
things
the
events
design
because
and all
he
that.
love him to death. He can stick to wieners. I will stick to
the event
the
design.
event design and logistics. But yeah, that's coming. It's actually coming up. But we actually one of the events we did last year since we're talking about Southern Hospitality wasn't aired, but it's fine.
Oh, really?
We did a
Yeah.
big product. If
Little
you guys know, do you guys watch Southern Charm? You know
Oh,
who
yeah.
Austin is.
I
We
love
did
Southern.
his new Trop Hop flavor, launch event last year, but that got cut. But that's okay.
We
That
didn't
got
make
cut
it.
from Southern Charm or Southern Hospitality.
Hospitality. We had like a crossover episode, and it ended up, stuff with
Bummer.
episode count. I was so bummed because it was a really cool event.
Does that, so I was wondering about that. Does that help carry over, like you being on Bravo, does that help carry over into Intrigue?
I think it's more of like a conversational piece.
Yeah.
I don't think we necessarily know yet
Right.
Sure.
how,
But
because since we
still-
book our clients like a year out,
For sure.
I don't think we'd be able to see that. But it is a conversational piece with our clients. I think almost all of them.
They all watch.
I didn't tell
more
anyone.
More the
You just
mom.
show-
I
You
don't
just-
talk about it at work. And so when a client says, like, it aired.
look
So I was new.
familiar, yeah.
I was new last season. And when it aired, I still didn't tell anyone. And they were like, in meetings with us, they were like,
Are you that?
are
girl?
you on
like what's
the
going
show
on?
that
Well,
I'm
do-
watching? And
Do you
I'm
know,
like,
and you know your
"No."
opening clip? Do you remember your opening clip? How they introduce you?
The insecure B word.
No. Or, I mean, I might be wrong on this. I
Oh,
think it's
he's talking-
hickey on your titties.
Oh, yeah. What?
You
Wait.
What?
Oh my God,
walked in.
that was my opening scene. My mom was cringing. So that's actually so crazy that you bring that up, that they opened
Wait,
me
wasn't
like that.
from like the
Yes.
bottle?
So actually it was cut. I bartend, and so I was shaking a drink and I hit it,
it got like
hit
hooked.
the,
cut
and
you.
it pinched and so I went in, it was a whole scene about how, guys, everyone's going to think,
I
like,
saw-
it's
I
my
had that.
first day
Like, oh, it's a
filming
new
and
girl.
everyone's going to think that I have a blemish on my lady parts. And
I was like, surely they won't cut that part
and
out.
they
though,
did.
'cause
And I
it
knew.
did,
And I
they
told her
did.
as soon as it happened, I was like, they're so going to cut that and make it. And they did. But
Yeah.
I was like, that's how you're going to open me up.
Yep.
I know.
And they did. But that's okay.
She did not have a hickey.
I promise. I'm not 14.
Yeah, good to have that out there now.
Right.
Yeah.
So I was curious how many times you get hit on per wedding or event. Like, is the groomsman?
We haven't had any
of you?
issues.
I mean,
issues.
nothing out of the ordinary.
Right.
I think.
I mean, she's
Standard.
beautiful. Like standard.
just
What, like
standard
Right.
above 20?
I think like in general, drunk men just
are gonna hit on you.
they're gonna hit on every
Right.
female at the wedding, whether it's a
100%.
planner or a guest.
Yeah.
I don't think anything out of the ordinary though. Usually I'm like hiding though. Like when guests are like having fun, like we're in the back room.
We're
Like, enjoy
we're
your
like,
time.
You can see you from afar, and
Yeah.
we're making sure that you're dancing and
This
you
is
have
your time.
drinks.
Yep.
This is your time. But yeah, I mean, we haven't had. I wouldn't say like a lot of the couples are like, oh my gosh, like it's so nice to, with Molly, but it hasn't been. We're not like from a booking standpoint, like clients aren't coming to us because there's a show.
Yeah.
Sure.
But I would say like just the conversations that we have, like
It's so
one
funny.
of the moms that we love them, we did their wedding at William Macon and she loves the show. And so she was like, can we please go out for espresso martinis and like just chat about all the drama and all the things.
That's
and
awesome.
I was like, I mean, yeah, if you're buying espresso martinis,
Yeah,
we
we're
will be
coming.
there. But yeah, so I mean, I think
It
stuff
just adds
like
like
that,
a-
it does.
it's just
just
fun.
like a
Another
layer.
talking point. That's cool.
right.
Talking point.
100%.
People,
Sure.
people love it.
Nice.
So yeah.
Do you guys wear headpieces at the events?
We do.
Like your little.
We
Oh
do.
yeah.
Yeah?
We're like secret service. Yeah.
How how big's the team on any given event?
So it depends. So there's at minimum 3 to 4. But then if depending on the event, sometimes there will be like 6 to 10,
Really?
depending on like corporate versus a festival versus a wedding. So it depends on each. We're always, both of us are obviously always there. We always have like an assistant with us. And then from there, it's based on like guest size and the venue. And if there's a million moving parts and different locations and things of that nature, we always want to make sure that someone from our staff is like eyes and ears in certain locations. But
And is there different I would imagine there's different departments that's like you're overseeing food and bev, you're overseeing
You
the
would think
people.
that's us actually.
Yeah,
You guys-
that's one of
So
us.
Intrigue is me and Chelsye, the people that are in the office,
Mm-hmm.
you know, every day, and then we just have like kind of rotating teams of
I
interns.
gotcha.
Yeah,
We work
contractors.
really closely with. Well, I guess it depends because festivals we will hire out
Mm-hmm.
and do contractors, but on a normal like wedding and quick event basis, we work very closely with the College of Charleston.
Oh yeah.
And I think, they to graduate, you have to have, an internship,
Service,
especially
yeah.
in event planning.
Mm-hmm.
And so we work with them. We try to use as many Charleston graduates as we
As
can.
we can, yeah.
And so we'll kind of have rotating interns every semester. But then if it's like a really big scale event where you're going to need some help, really, higher budgets, more corporate stuff,
We'll hire out contractors.
we have some people that we just are
Right.
independent contractors that will
I
say, hey, you available?
yeah, come on and hang out.
I
with
need
us.
help.
I know. I wish that I would have had some sort of like internship program when I was trying to figure
Right.
out like what I
Right.
wanted to do. And
Yeah.
so in 2010, I think is when I started working with the College of Charleston with like their hospitality program. I think that like when you're trying to define like what are you going to do with your career or your life or like what does that look like, the events hospitality world is not just for anybody. You really kind of have to have a mindset going into it. So I think that like being able to explore that on multiple different platforms, because Intrigue is not just weddings. We do a lot of
Right.
different things. Like a couple of our interns, like one of them went and she works for an amazing corporate group in New York now. Another one is doing PR for like Arby's and Taco Bell and like more of like PR events for a company out of Atlanta.
Yeah.
So I think it kind of just gives you the opportunity to like kind of pick and choose what direction you might want to go
Right.
in. And then for us, it's more so we like for everyone who is on site to know everything. It's not, you're not going to be put in a corner and then just like stay here. This is the only thing you're concentrating on. Because if anyone comes up, I don't want them to like not be able to answer a question. But at the same time, I'm like, if you don't know it, don't lie.
Use the headpiece.
Don't make
Use
it
the
up.
headpiece.
Don't make
Yeah.
it up. Use the headpiece. Contact one of us. We'll come over, or we can like get you the answer like right away. But I feel like just events run smoother when everyone knows. Not that they have to be like fully immersed in everything, but when they have a gist of like everything
Right.
that's going on.
And I'm always curious about the training piece of it because we go through that a lot too with interns,
Right.
where they show up and you have to tell them those shoes are slay,
Right.
but you can't wear those around here.
So yeah, I think we've gotten a lot better at it
We have.
this time around.
Molly has a beautiful design
I
deck.
have a big
of all the
old design
things.
deck that like I have put together.
Do's and
So
don'ts.
basically, with event planning, you're green as they come when you're an intern.
Yeah.
Like this field, you have to have so much like experience, kind of. And so the place that you're going to start with that is an internship. And so when the interns come in and start interviewing, we're not expecting. We have
Them to know
we have
everything.
hired interns that have zero experience, and so it's a learning curve.
Maybe not even a job in the real world.
Oh, 100%.
Not
Just
maybe
school.
not
Yeah,
even maybe
just school.
just a food and bev job.
Yeah.
We like that sometimes. I think sometimes it can be, obviously, you guys know it's not always great when someone's super green. But since event planning is so experience based and you always start at an internship level, we're kind of expecting someone to have no experience.
Yeah.
But we can tell pretty quickly on whether an intern is going to be,
gonna get
successful in the field of event
Right.
planning, because it does take a specific type of person and a specific type of way your brain works. So like that onboarding, I'll hit them with dress code. This is what we wear. This is what we don't wear.
Yeah.
Give me some examples of what you say in that.
Well,
You have
we're
a
always
you have
so we're at
photos,
someone's
Yoga
wedding.
loud with a big
And this
check mark.
this could actually go for guests at a wedding too, because dress code is a very, very, very controversial thing at a wedding, and we never want to be a part of that conversation when it comes to the staff. So, I think it goes across the board for hospitality in general. I think everyone, the standard uniform is all black.
All black, yeah.
Whether or not you're wearing a pantsuit, or you don't necessarily need to like be wearing a pantsuit in this, the Charleston summer,
You can wear a
but
black dress.
black
and
dress, something
things of
that's
that nature.
just, that you could wear around grandma and grandpa, and no one would ever, bat an eye about it. Closed-toed shoes normally, maybe like a fun shoe. During setup, we'll wear our shirts and like athletic pants and
more of,
tennis
like, setup
shoes,
details,
but like
yeah.
we never want to be a part of that conversation. Never any white.
No.
If you're
Oh my God, could you imagine?
I could imagine
if
it
someone-
happening.
even
if you
white,
didn't say
even
it.
black and white polka dots are not
Right.
allowed. By the way, everyone.
We have like some of our clients will be like, well, we want you to like if there's like we've had a couple weddings recently that they were like, well, we want to like fit the vibe. So like Molly and I will have on something that is color coded with the design. But all of our staff, I always want them to look like someone. If someone had to have a question, they could come up to
know
them
where it's-
and they
yeah.
know it's a staff member.
I either want to blend into the decor or wear all black.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think for us, it's
The
like
headpieces give it away, too.
Yeah, the headpieces are like more like that's a Secret Service person over there. Let me go figure out what they're doing. But I think for us, it's a little different. People see us all day. They also are they're like, okay, well, Chelsye and Molly, like they're here. But for staff, we just want to make sure that they're within reason. of all
Does
the
anybody
things.
ever invite you guys to party with them?
Oh my God,
All the
time.
And what do you do with that? Do you
That's
dabble?
so hard.
We dabble.
We
A
do.
little bit?
So-
Well,
Do you like say, all right, my work here is done now,
Right.
and then
a lot of
let
clients
loose?
will try to get us be like, you're done. Like,
Right.
we're
have to come to
paying
the
you. You
after
have to come to the
party.
after party. A lot
Right.
of times that we just worked like a 16-hour
Right.
day.
You don't want
And then
we're ready to go home.
a million plus hours, leading up to the wedding. So a lot of times I want to go to my bed. There's the occasional time. Well, since I, was at Republic, it was a really easy plug. A lot of our clients would go over to, the nightclub
Right.
that I worked at, and I was able to kind of set them up with a table. And so maybe I would stop by and, say hi.
Yeah.
And so, but like not normally like an after party. They definitely invite us all the time, but it's just
Yeah.
like, there's like a,
I feel like it's
different
more so
level
like
of-
after their wedding,
Like, girl,
then
I'm
we get together
tired.
for like dinner and drinks.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like the night of the wedding, it's like I just want them to be with their friends
Right.
and family, and we're kind of not. Even though we do feel so close to them, we're not necessarily a part of that
Right.
crew and that story for them for that night. So I think it's like more of a let's get a drink and like let's get dinner like afterwards. I mean, we are still really close. Like one of my old clients, God, they got married probably 8 or 9 years ago now, at William Aiken, and my fiance and I have traveled all over with them. We've gone to Vail and we've gone skiing, and they come to Charleston and they would stay with us. So like just having that relationship is definitely something that's important to us. But as far as like the night of, we're like, okay,
like,
go
girl,
have
I'm
fun.
tired. Yeah.
go have fun, and we'll see
you have fun with
later.
that.
But interns aren't getting in the mix.
Oh,
No.
absolutely
You guys
not.
tell me.
They would no.
That's a no.
They would,
Drink.
yeah,
Are they
that's
allowed
a
to
hard
drink
no.
at all?
Absolutely
at the
not.
wedding? Never.
No,
Absolutely not.
Ever.
Do you catch them sometimes?
If I ever caught someone, they would leave immediately.
Yeah, I don't think
So,
I've
never caught someone
If
drinking.
they're doing it, they're good at hiding
very
it. And
secretive.
you know what? Good for you.
Have you guys had to fire anybody?
There's definitely, since our internships are only semester long,
Yeah.
Kind of like a nice.
there's been
graduation.
definitely girls that we can just, again, tell that
It's not going to work.
it's not
for
going to
the-
work
Yeah.
in this field.
Yeah.
Because if you're upset about like me telling you one thing to do, it's probably not going to be.
Right.
But I don't. Have you ever fired someone?
I mean, I fired other people, not necessarily like interns.
Yeah.
I think that
Fired,
like,
like,
having
vendors.
conversation.
No,
Oh, vendors.
Vendors, we've.
Oh,
Got to
I've
be
had
easy
done.
to zap a
Yeah.
vendor, right?
Right. Well, I
Yeah.
mean, if it's not working, it's not working.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to like put my clients, in a situation that wouldn't be,
Right.
Beneficial for them. So,
Yeah, I don't think
but I mean,
intern
as far
wise.
as
So
like,
short,
intern
too.
wise,
What about
like,
interviews? Like, what do you guys do in the interview process?
We're very vibe people.
Yeah,
So
we're pretty. We're
Just
chill.
feel it. Yeah, just.
Yeah, it's like kind of a feel.
Yeah.
We're
I
vibe
love
people.
that you guys are vibe people.
Yeah.
Yes.
We kind of,
Like, you can tell, like we like to have fun. We're
do.
party planners.
He wants the logics. He wants to like, give me your whole bio.
okay, like,
And I'm more vibe.
yeah.
I love the just.
Oh,
Okay.
I see.
Like I want the person who like when their meal arrives, they're gonna do a little dance.
Right.
You know
That's
what I
they're
mean?
excited.
That's the
For sure. I feel like I go both ways. Because I want to make sure that like in the office I'm going to get along with you.
Right.
We spend so much time together. I mean, her and I literally sit right across from each other. So we want to make sure that like if we have like a rosé Friday, that you're going to be okay with that.
Right.
Or now Molly can't drink wine anymore, so we do margarita Fridays. So I mean, just like
Wine issues.
yeah, I don't know what it is.
It
Doesn't
literally all of a sudden
body.
makes me sick.
Yeah, can't do
Well,
it.
like in the past like 2 years, year and a half, I've developed allergies, and wine is one of them.
And
Interesting.
shellfish.
And then shellfish,
randomly.
which is such a bummer because I love wine and oysters. That was like my go-to.
There's something about wine that I can't do either.
I can't. It makes me sick.
I
Yeah.
tried it for years, and one day I just said,
You're like, no more.
I feel terrible. Everything about it is terrible.
It's
I'm never
not-
having
yeah.
another sip of wine again.
And now it makes me feel so bad that I'm like, I'm not drinking this glass of wine just because Bobby
Just
over here
because-
bought a
right.
bottle of wine. Like I'm not.
Yeah.
Give me
Nope,
a
no.
tequila
That's a
shot.
mature move. It's a very mature move. Love that.
To switch to tequila shots.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's
you
what
know
I'm
it does
saying.
well with your body. Now, we didn't say, how did you two meet? Or did you guys say that?
No, I stalked her.
Molly stalked me.
Really?
so here's a
Oh,
lesson
that's
to
how every good relationship
yeah,
I love
you
that.
know,
Encouraged.
only if you're a girl.
She slid in my DMs.
But basically, I had been working, for a few other planners, establishing, my own experience in the event planning world. I worked vendor side. I worked for like another planner. It just was not working out, personality wise, vibe wise. It's like when you have a
vibe wise doesn't make
Yeah.
sense to me.
So
People
here's-
will say
here's an
vibe,
example.
Right? And you're like, no.
here's
and
an
I'm like,
example.
well, give me something concrete.
Okay, all right.
Well, they don't, or I don't. Whatever he says, he likes something. He's like, oh yeah, I like that. It's like a vibe. It's like,
Right.
well, we're gonna
No, I
pay.
need
We're
to
gonna pay
know.
triple for that.
Right.
So, give me more.
Well, here's
than,
I
give
feel
me
like
more
here's
than
a more
vibe.
concrete example. Like if you know how in high school if you play a sport and a coach can ruin a sport for you,
Yep.
same thing in like a boss can ruin a field for you. An internship can
Yep.
make you hate the field.
Right.
Certain things.
true.
So like it just wasn't working out that way, and I knew I loved event planning, and I knew it wasn't me, and so
not made at you.
I knew it wasn't me. And so I exited accordingly,
Can't
and
be me. It's
Gotta be
So I-
that.
perfect. What are you talking about?
Did
but
you,
then
so did you resign by text or just?
we had a conversation.
It was
I'm a
face to
conversation
face.
person.
Oh,
yeah,
that's very mature too.
yeah.
Nice.
Well, yeah. Anyways, we're like if
different
I
podcast.
saw this person on like the street, it would be great.
Yeah.
And I have seen them, and it's totally fine. It just wasn't working out mutually, which is okay.
It's okay.
In the workplace.
Yeah.
And did a lot of research on planners kind of that I was wanting to work for. I wanted to definitely work for like a woman, and wanted to work for someone that's very hardworking, and did some research. Intrigue came across me a few times. So then I
Yeah.
just,
Are there a lot
I
of
blew up
male,
her email.
Are there a lot of male planners out there?
Is there any straight planners?
I wouldn't trust a straight man to plan my wedding.
That's what I can't even imagine.
That's
where to
all I'm
start.
saying. But I think
There
just
are.
in general, I don't know. I just really liked the idea of working for like a strong, like female
Yeah.
person in the workplace, because that's kind of what I want to be. And there's just something about,
Right. Chelsea's biceps.
Oh,
you're
she's
like,
blushing.
That's what I'm
Chelse's
talking
blushing
about.
right
Her
now.
biceps, that's what I want. Yeah. But I basically just hit her with my resume in the email about 64 times until
Until I was like, come to the
come on
office
in.
and we'll have.
and
a
then
glass
our
of rosé.
interview, we were drinking wine pre-allergy. But
we're going to sit across
so
from each
that's a
other and
lesson to
stare at
all
each
the
other.
listeners.
Yeah.
Stalk your
64
boss.
times.
Stalk your boss.
And then have a
64
little
is like
wine
the
in the
great-
Hey,
interview.
cold send your resume and
Yeah.
introduce yourself. It sometimes works.
Yeah, I like that.
What was your process? Did you go look at her social media and see her
I did.
vibe?
Yeah, I did. I wanted to see her vibe. I wanted to see how she was. But I mean, honestly, it was funny. I wasn't looking for anyone when she originally had reached out. And then I was having a conversation with a director over some venues. And I was like, you know what? I was like, I think I am going to, bring someone on board to kind of like, Intrigue was just shifting so much with how many events that we were doing and things of that nature. And so I wanted to have someone who was like more of like a partner in it. So we chatted over the phone, and they said that they're like, oh, there's this girl, her name is Molly Moore. And they sent me her resume, and I was like, why does that name sound so familiar? And then I went back and we had multiple conversations. And so I was like,
It was always
oh.
like,
she's
we're not.
blocked. She's blocked
Yeah,
on my Instagram.
she's blocked on my Instagram actually. But it was always like, we're not hiring at this time. We'll follow back up, and I, hit her. Hey,
Just
me
checking
again.
in.
Just
Yeah.
checking in. Did any positions open?
Yeah, and then I told her, I was like, come in the office and let's just sit and chat. And we ended up turned
Drinking
into
a
like
bottle of wine.
Yeah, turned in like a 2-hour conversation. And I think that like a lot of what
And
Intrigue
then she knew all
stands
my
for-
personal tea. And I
Oh
was
yeah,
like,
we went
great.
over all things.
Like, now you have to hire me because you know too
Yeah.
much.
Right.
But
Whoa.
It was awesome. It was
Yeah,
awesome.
it's good.
And now it's been a year and a half.
yeah,
Yeah. Here we
Great.
are.
almost exactly tomorrow.
Awesome.
A year and a half tomorrow.
Year
Your
and a
half
year and a
birthday.
half tomorrow, right?
Here we go.
And so, what's it been like having? So, obviously, you were on TV for a little while. You weren't used to that, and
Yeah.
now people know more about you probably than you would think.
Yeah.
Than the average person.
Yes.
Although with social media, a lot of people know a lot of things anyway.
Yeah.
What's that been like?
And also, I think in general, I'm a very open person. Like, if you go to dinner with me, you'll probably know everything about my life by the end. But
That's true.
it's been like an adjustment, definitely learning how to be on a TV show and then also turn it off and, come show up to work, which I think I've always kind of been really good at. Occasionally I'll come and be like, girl, guess what happened? But
We do have our interns have to sign an NDA because
Yeah, we just, like-
Oh,
we
really?
talk
Yeah.
about things in the office. I mean, it's just not
Yeah.
just that, but like even like client financials and things of that nature. So we're like very strict on making sure that like, personal information from the client side, from Molly's side, like everything is
sense.
just like kind of stays
I
within.
think the answer to that question is more we're still navigating kind of that
Yeah.
adjustment.
Right.
Because
we've
we're
only
about to
done
start
once.
filming next week.
Yeah.
So that's coming up for the next season. So we're
It'll
still
be
kind of, it's a
interesting.
learning curve.
What's the time commitment on that? Or is it random?
It's random, and that's what makes it so difficult. Most other cast members don't have a 9 to 5.
Like a full-time
Even the
job.
people that do have like full blown other jobs, it's very customizable. Like Brad, he's personal trainer, so he can kind of adjust his client schedule
Yeah.
to meet his filming schedule. But stuff can happen on the show at 8 p.m. and I still got to get up, and show up to work at 9 the
Do
next
they
morning.
call you? Is that what happens where they
They'll
there's
they'll-
something going down at
They'll give us like kind of a rundown of what they think your week is going to look like. And it
Sure.
might, obviously, with life and it being such a real show, like life happens. So sometimes they're like, this happened. Like, we want you to come.
getting
And
TJ's
we-
ear
yeah.
and say,
Yeah.
Always.
Right.
But it's definitely been an adjustment. It might just look, the hours will probably always be the same number. It might just look a little bit different. A client might receive an email from me at like 9 p.m., because I had to go do a, film at like from like 3 to 4 randomly.
Right.
And so I might have to make up that hour in like another day. But, we're still figuring that out. I think this year is going to be a little bit more filming for me. So
We're navigating. We'll navigate.
Yeah.
we'll
I
navigate.
mean, we get it. We're Columbia's hottest podcast, so
Yeah.
it's hard to tell.
That's what I heard.
So many
I
people
know.
slide in our
You guys are a
DMs
big
like
deal.
who's genuine and all that. But
Yeah.
So do you have to navigate your mood sometimes to go film? Because sometimes I would picture you're walking into something and you're like, I just had to deal with 19 different things, and now I'm going to have a camera in my face.
I'm pretty good at regulating that.
Yeah.
I think I always, in general, it's like more of it's a job. So I'm gonna kind of approach it professionally. I always, when I'm filming, think of a client being in the corner, just because my client and family will
Literally
be watching
might be
this
in the
show.
corner.
Literally, they
Yeah.
might be in the corner.
yeah.
So every time there's like I just had to deal with XYZ and I walk into a scene, I really try to I also try to be as real as I can though. So if I had a bad day and
Then you had a bad day.
I had a bad day, I'm a
Right.
human being.
Yep.
So I try to be as authentic as I can, but in a way that's not
Right.
harmful to a reputation.
And we have a lot of conversations. I mean,
Yeah.
Molly, like as soon as when we were first, she told me, because when she first started working with me, like the show wasn't a
yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
It didn't exist. So when she kind of decided that she wanted to go on it, like we had multiple conversations.
It was pretty
of,
much
like, what
up
does it
to,
look like?
not really up to Chelsea, but a lot of my decision with saying yes to the show had to do with how
Mother
comfortable,
Goose. Yeah.
Intrigue felt about it, how comfortable my family felt about it. I had conversations with each person in my family because at the end of the day, like you're
It's
just
out
opening
there.
yourself
Yeah.
up in a
Right.
different way. And so I had to make sure it was, comfortable and aligned with, Intrigue because,
Yeah.
it does reflect on where you work, the decisions you make. So every time I walk in somewhere, I'm like, Intrigue's watching.
Yeah.
Intrigue's watching.
It's got to be challenging too because they cut things however they want to cut them.
They can slice it whichever way,
Yeah.
and you have no control
Yeah.
over that. So I think that I'm super proud of Molly and what she did on the show and for the season, and kind of just the woman that she is and who she portrays herself, and knowing the behind the scenes of it though is that Molly is not a bartender at Republic. Molly is an
Right.
event planner, a professional. Like, I mean, we've done so many amazing things together. So like, I think that like, it's really, I'm hopeful that maybe like other people will kind of get to see that side of her too. But it's definitely just an ongoing conversation.
Event planning is
that
a
we have.
fun little
It's
thing to see
amazing.
behind. I think there should be a reality TV show about
I know we need to talk to
event
Bravo about
planners.
that.
Yeah,
like
seriously.
seeing like the day set up. tea.
Except for me going into the closet and
Yeah,
screaming.
besides
and
that.
all that
But
stuff.
people might want to see that.
I would
But,
wanna see
yeah.
Let's talk luxury. So,
Yes.
at what tier do you guys consider it luxury? And then I'm also curious about like, I'm not a big favor guy at the wedding.
Right.
Like I always think they're junky.
We've had both of these conversations like in the past week.
recently.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Well, is there like a good luxury favor apart as you explained?
Yeah.
Luxury favor to me is something you can eat.
Molly loves, it's so funny. We were having a thing the other day and she
love
was
a
like,
custom
can we
cookie.
have a cookie? Like, I just want, I mean, everyone loves cookies, which is totally true. I think that luxury, like so many people, I guess to me, like luxury doesn't mean money. Like, I don't look at it and just because you have a $1 million wedding means it's going to be the most luxurious wedding that
Right.
you've ever had. Like, what if the guest experience is horrible and
Yeah.
the vendors that you hire, like what about that speaks that way?
Or
So-
spending it in weird shit
or
that
in
nobody
like
knows
right,
what
or that
it
no
is.
one
Yeah.
cares, or isn't
Yeah.
like appropriate for what the priorities are for the client. So, luxury for us, at least as a company, is more so of what are your priorities? What does that guest experience
Right.
look like? Because
I
no
would-
matter
yeah.
the amount of money,
I would much rather have like a entertainer, like some
Right.
a violin in the corner, or someone handing
Or
out
like Taylor
custom.
Swift.
Oh,
Yeah,
See,
saxophonist.
Calling
money can
Taylor
buy you
Swift.
luxurious things, but not
Yeah.
everything luxurious,
Right.
costs money.
exactly.
But whether it's like a hand towel passed
Mm-hmm.
around, after the seafood stations, just like guest experience is
Yeah.
what makes luxury luxury. Because you can have like a $10,000 couch sitting in the middle of your wedding, but
what does that provide?
let's
Nobody-
do it
yeah.
like a violin trio with that money and have them play during cocktail hour, and then there's just like
Yeah,
certain
that's
things
a
that you
good-
can spend your money on that.
Yeah.
I never thought about that.
A violin trio?
No, I've thought about a violin trio.
Yeah.
Right,
I
everyone
Just
should
often,
the
have that.
actually.
idea of luxury.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just like what you
Right.
mentioned, a $10,000 couch to the average person's like
It's a couch.
It's a couch,
Right.
But you could get an experience out of that same
Out
amount
of
of
the
money.
same amount of money, for
is-
sure. I mean, even with some of like, we love doing custom builds. Like we actually just designed a custom bar for one of our clients, taking details from the venue that they're getting married at and adding it into the design.
that's
like
awesome.
that going, like a guest going up and getting an amazing signature cocktail. That is something that the bride drinks all the time. I mean, everyone knows that I love margaritas and I'm a tequila person. So, at my wedding, I'd probably have that and people
Yeah.
would like be able to connect to that on like an emotional level. So kind of just having
Espresso
like
martinis,
espresso
man.
martinis. Yeah. So I think making sure that like the details and the planning is what makes it luxurious, not necessarily the fact that you
Right.
just spent however much money.
You have like
Yeah.
a little bit, not less, but like a different plate option can
Yeah.
open up like $1,000 and you don't even know it. So like using your money and
Just spending it smartly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's what our clients really appreciate about us is like we are there like navigating
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
We want you to have like the best plates ever, but if we can get you a very similar plate and then it opens up
Doors for other
espresso
things.
martini bars on the dance floor at night, we're gonna
doesn't
recommend
want
that.
Yeah.
So one of my favorite things at weddings,
Ooh, yeah.
Here we go.
and I
wanna hear
don't
these.
go to
Yeah.
many that anymore
Yeah.
because all my friends got married. It feels
Yeah.
like 10 years ago, so I'm outdated. But the coffee after the meal, when they come around and give it to you and you have nothing else to do other than wait for
Right.
the speeches, that's my favorite part.
Wait,
The
why
coffee?
are you
Yeah.
doing speeches
Are you doing
after the
speeches
meal?
after your meal?
That is
Wait, you're
horrible.
Canadian, aren't you? You know how that works.
That's distant. Don't put that on me.
So, I mean, with something like that, well, one thing we want our guests to we want our clients to get up and like start moving. Like we do probably 90% seated dinners. The toast happened during said dinner. So, because everybody's sat, they're there, they're listening, they can pay attention. The last thing that we ever want is for them to then sit through through an hour meal and then sit through like another 30 minutes.
You gotta get the party
toast.
started.
You guys don't know about Canadian weddings
Obviously
then.
I don't think I do.
Because
the only thing I know is like a Canadian tuxedo.
do you know, you've been to some Saskatchewan weddings?
No.
No.
So there's something where there's a welcome to the family from the parents of
We do
of your
those.
spouse.
Yeah, we have
And
that.
you don't do those
Not during
We do it
afterwards?
before.
No, we do it
Not
before.
during the wedding.
Like it's a welcome.
Welcome.
day before
Enjoy
it's
the
like,
dinner.
isn't it?
So it's like cocktail hour. Once cocktail hour is done and guests are coming back into the reception,
Yep.
then typically after we do like intros and like dances, then we have like a welcome by the father of the bride or someone of that nature. So, but no, doing speeches afterwards, I'd be like,
Because
okay,
I feel like
it's
after you
time.
eat, you're tired. So if you
Yeah.
sit there and
Right.
you let
You
yourself
gotta get
get
up and
That's
start
why you
dancing.
drink the coffee
why I like to
afterwards.
Well,
That's
then-
you're like a little tired.
Well,
It's
we
been
have
a long
espresso
day.
martinis.
Right. Or
in
we'll do
in
like the
difference.
coffee cordials. So I love a
Yeah.
coffee bar and then you
I do
add
too.
cordials to it. So like
What's a
they could do
cordial?
so like a Bailey's or like a Kahlua and cream
yeah,
or something
yeah.
of that nature. So I mean that kind of just enhances again that experience. But we want to get them up and moving and,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
dancing
on the dance floor.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, what is the proper itinerary? Like, how would it go? We like to call
There's
it
like we have
tinnies.
like a template kind of that we if someone really wants something, of course we're never gonna say no, but it's gonna go your ceremony, your cocktail hour,
And then
into
intros.
your kind of into your intros, the first dance, welcome toast, probably first course.
dinner. Yeah.
And then after your first course, as your main is plated and served, you start your
Toast.
speeches. A lot of people also nowadays have been doing speeches at the rehearsal.
And
Getting
like,
it out of the way.
and
And
mixing
then
them
so
with the wedding.
now-
less pressure.
And then when you get to like the wedding, then you're just like eating, maybe doing like one or two toasts, and then you're getting up and dancing. Like it's a
Interesting.
party. Yeah.
We have a client right now who we have a band conversation with them tomorrow, and they want to like have everyone come in and then they want to dance for like 45 minutes before
Before
dinner.
food.
is
Yeah,
even
food's gonna
served.
be there, but
Feels
they
a
want to
little risky.
prioritize.
Dancing.
Extremely rich.
They were like, with our family, it's not a problem. We're like,
Right.
I
We're like,
love
okay.
that.
Yeah.
I love that.
And then they want to do dinner, and then they want to get right back out on the dance floor. So we're like, all right, we'll make that happen.
All right,
Set
so
the
some of
tone.
the hot songs are not the Macarena anymore.
Come on,
Oh
ride
my
the
gosh.
train.
No one does the Macarena anymore.
No.
Do not playlist
All right,
immediately.
bird
100%.
dance, bird song.
Chicken dance.
Na 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 na
The bird dance.
The chicken dance.
Yes. No, that is a definite do not play.
All right.
Do not
And
play.
what about the Cupid Shuffle?
That's still in
I
there.
Hold
I
on.
They tuck that in there.
Okay.
haven't
It
had
depends on
to
how
the
drunk
left.
I am, but if
You're
I'm a
getting
little
into it.
tipsy, I'm doing a Cupid,
Cupid
shuffle.
shuffle. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
That's the
Still-
only maybe.
I can't
Still
tell you the
alive.
last wedding we had the Cupid shuffle.
No, that's always on the do not playlist.
Yeah.
I think all Bruno Mars. Here's what's usually on the do not playlist, like Bruno Mars, like Uptown Funk.
Really?
It's always on there. All the dance songs.
yeah, the choreographed dance.
Just take out,
songs.
here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take out all the best songs.
Yeah,
And say that you're not allowed to play them.
I'm trying to think what else. I think Bruno Mars is really. I mean,
They also
he
pick,
is
like
very popular, but he is not popular amongst the weddings.
not in amongst the weddings. I think it's just like one of those songs that has been overplayed.
Retail
in your,
songs
yeah.
are no. If you've
Taylor
worked retail,
Swift.
we've
have
had
a-
brides that are pretty. I mean, there's
Pretty
some
hardcore
pretty
Taylor
diehard
Swift, yeah.
Swifties out there that they want their wedding.
That's not
They
something
want to
we
walk.
mess with. We're
That's
just like,
not our.
okay.
Don't
yeah,
go there.
yeah, okay.
No, we're like, yeah, we can.
I
definitely
can't.
have
I
it, but
can't
would
say
never
anything
talk.
bad about Taylor Swift because I'll get.
Oh yeah, no.
People. I love her.
Love her.
Yeah.
What about Nickelback?
I mean,
know
growing
what?
up, I loved.
I don't know
Nickelback.
what that hate is about.
Everyone loves them. No one
But
admits it.
I don't know
mean,
what
I
the
don't
hate
know.
is. You're
It's
trying to
your
say
Canadian
if a
roots. It's from your
if
Canadian
a
roots.
Nickelback song comes on, you're not gonna like dance.
You're
That's a
gonna
lie.
dance.
No, you're
Yeah.
gonna turn it up.
Right.
Yes.
Everybody does.
Yes.
I mean, I love them.
All right,
so.
Justin Bieber.
Oh, I love Bieber.
All the Canadian
I
ones, they're
love
like automatic
that
yeses.
man. That's
Yes,
like
Molly's
Yeah.
obsessed with him.
Oh,
that's
you
like
are.
my yeah. He's kind of crushed now.
Is that
right
your
now, but-
celebrity crush? What are you guys?
Well, I would say number one is Dylan O'Brien. Do you guys
Yeah,
know who that
that's
is?
No.
Maze Runner,
No
Teen
clue.
Wolf.
Nope.
Nope.
Sorry, that was my generation.
Okay.
Is
Like
am I too
Michael
young?
J. Fox, Teen Wolf was
No, Teen Wolf, the new
Oh,
Teen
the
Wolf,
new- the
the
new
show, the
revive.
TV show,
Okay.
the one in
Yeah.
from.
But
the,
that was still that was a while ago, right?
it was a while ago.
Okay.
But Dylan O'Brien,
Dylan O'Brien,
Justin Bieber,
and Biebs.
Michael B. Jordan.
What's going on with Biebs though? We don't know.
I don't know. That
He
poor
got
guy.
married over here.
He
Charleston,
got
right?
married in
Palmetto
in-
Bluff.
Or
in
Palmetto
Palmetto
Bluff.
Bluff in Bluffton, South Carolina.
Sweet.
Yeah, it's a cool venue.
Who's yours? I'm gonna go.
Oh, I don't think you'll guess hers.
Well, I'm trying to
know who
think of
mine
what kind
is.
of guys you're into.
Oh.
Like thick neck tattoos, or are you more
Oh,
like skinny, tall?
Oh yeah.
Your
Your man is actually like a 180 from like what I thought your type was. Gonna be.
Really?
Really? What did you think my type was?
Like motorcycle, but like,
But he is,
this.
though.
He's not stereotypical
But he's not,
motorcycle.
yeah,
though.
he-
Like
we-
I was
Is he a
thinking,
Harley guy or like a
So we have
crotch
been
rocket?
Harleys forever, but he just got a Triumph. So
Okay.
it's like a little bit more like off
I was thinking, like-
in a way.
Yeah.
like ponytail, like,
Really?
like drummer vibes.
Well, but he's all those
But he
things.
is. He is those things that he doesn't. I'm trying
Dude,
to.
a male ponytail's hilarious.
I don't think I could ever do a pony ever. But he is all those things. He's a drummer. He loves motorcycles. He's a musician. He's also a crazy nerd. He's a web developer.
Okay.
He lives in the Matrix, is what I say.
He's so wholesome.
But he's still like clean cut and. Yeah, he is very
Handsome,
wholesome,
yeah.
very handsome. I'm so glad he doesn't know how sexy he is because
So your celebrity crush is more like Paul Rudd.
I could
Like,
say
yeah.
I had like a huge crush on Chad Michael Murray back in the day.
Yeah.
Which I like. He's like I don't know. He's like
Chad
a bad
Michael
boy, but
Murray.
not.
Why do I know that? What show was he on?
One Tree Hill.
One Tree Hill.
One Tree Hill.
Yeah.
I don't think I watched that.
I'm not a big celebrity crush person. Though.
Okay.
I'm just not like a.
His
I
is
don't.
Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah.
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 that's
Who's your celebrity crush?
David Beckham.
Oh, well.
That's.
I mean, I think that could be anybody's though. I mean, he's,
I love that.
He's great. He's getting a
beautiful
little
man.
older, but still.
But he still looks amazing.
great.
Yeah.
Well, he's just skinny. That's the thing.
He doesn't like any
gotta be into
soccer
the
What's
moves.
your like
Gotta be into
female
little
celebrity
guys.
crush?
Need like a little meat on him.
Oh,
Do you know who
females.
Paulina Gretzky is?
Do I?
Yeah.
Maybe.
It's Dustin Johnson's wife, Wayne Gretzky's
Wayne Gretzky.
daughter.
Wayne
daughter.
okay.
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
Here's the
Yeah.
problem with females is I would pick a Victoria's Secret model. Like
Well,
that's
yeah.
Right.
and that's why it's like I don't really.
There's no one
so
that you're
many-
like.
is.
yeah,
Right,
there's
there's
not
so
Like
many
growing up,
options.
you didn't have like a poster of a girl.
It was Adriana Lima,
okay.
who was all like the
Right, that's rightfully
Victoria's.
so,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. So
yeah, Britney
fair.
Spears. I had a lot of posters of Britney Spears.
Okay. Okay.
Britney.
Speaking
bad
of
how
Canadian
things
tuxedos.
That's awesome.
okay, where were we here?
Yeah.
Anyways.
we went down a rabbit
Weddings.
hole. Weddings.
So when you
events.
make these, all right. So do you have a prop person? So when you made that bar,
Mm-hmm.
what do you do with it, and who built it?
So we have
so
a
cool.
couple different like fabricators that we go through. So or we have companies that will design something and then they'll build
Like
it.
you dream it, they'll do it.
And then they'll do it. Yeah.
Yeah, we had like a client that was just like in love with speakeasies, like kind of like that darker, really
Moodier vibe.
styled out, full like architectural speakeasy bar. So we curated and designed out. We'll design it out and we'll find a company to
build it.
source the materials and build it.
That's
actually build
cool.
it. I think it was like how many feet was it?
It's like 32 feet long, 10
Yeah, it
feet
was
tall.
huge. Oh, that's
it was
massive.
Huge. It was
Yeah.
massive.
Is
yeah.
the Hotel Bennett little area a speakeasy kind of thing? The champagne room or something?
the
or-
camellias or
Yeah.
is that what it is?
camellias.
Camellias.
The
Pretty
pink room.
sweet. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that one's
That's
really. We
cool.
actually did an event there
We did. For Dibs.
for
They
Dibs,
did,
like
a
an all
product
women.
launch.
It was like a women's like makeup launch, and
Yeah.
that was like the perfect room
They were
for
like
that.
launching a
that's
new
nice.
color
It's a
palette.
great space.
It was
Yeah,
awesome.
That's where we got. My wife and I got married in just a small wedding on the second floor Hotel Bennett.
Yeah.
Like outdoor deal.
Beautiful.
Christmas. It was
Yeah.
sweet.
Gorgeous.
Oh, and
Yeah, it was
Christmas
nice.
too. That's a
Yeah.
great
December
time
is
there.
a beautiful time of year.
Charleston, Charleston Christmas is underrated.
I feel
Yeah.
like December,
Really
like
is.
weddings are just we need more of
It's
them.
not cold
Yeah.
yet either.
It's not. It's like 70 degrees still sometimes.
it
and
was
gorgeous.
perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was, all the lights were up. It was nice. Do you guys keep props though? Like, do you have like a bunch of
We
candles
don't.
or
I no.
dishes?
We have like
No.
we have a space that we keep very basic stuff,
Yeah.
like the occasional like candle holder and some hurricanes and like stuff like that. If we have like personal
We would
events,
just
maybe
get
that
like
we need to
so
throw.
bored.
But we rent it.
Yeah.
Our
Right.
events are so
Different. All of them.
like such a big caliber that like no storage unit that we could have
or that I would
would
want.
fit
Right.
anything.
Yeah.
At that point, we'd own a rental company, but
For sure.
we like smaller things.
Yeah. I just don't like we're not like a reuse. Like I don't like once we do a design, we're not going to
I
do
don't wanna use it
something
again.
similar.
Oh,
again.
really?
So we like to work with people who do that. So then they can take something that like the bar that I designed has been now reused for a million other
Like
weddings.
repurposed a
Yeah.
little?
So
Yeah.
they can repaint it. They can, kind of split it up so that it's like smaller. And so we love doing that because obviously we don't want to just build something and then throw it in like a landfill somewhere. We want it to
Right.
be like repurposed and reused. So, but we love that, but it's not something necessarily like when our clients want to customize something, they want something that's like custom and that they've never seen. So that's kind of like more of the direction. And we do so many different things that I would get bored if we used the same stuff like over and over again. I wouldn't
Yeah.
like that.
It just seems like a lot of work to reinvent the wheel every single time.
It's fun though.
But that's what we love.
Yeah.
And you get to like,
Right.
you have one wedding that's like very like bubbly and white and classic, and then we have, you know, the rainbow over here at this wedding. It's fun to just like use all parts of like the creative brain, and like if we see like a linen when we were searching and designing for another wedding, we'll like put it on bookmark and be like, I want to use that and design a wedding around this in the future.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's more
I
fun.
think that's
like
what
that.
also keeps us like engaged and
It- because,
intrigued.
yeah, I'd be
in it
so bored
if we were not kind of reinventing the wheel. Like if we weren't kind of doing, other stuff. And I mean, I feel like I get inspiration from everywhere. Like there's a hotel that Molly loves in California, and like we'll like go to like different places or travel to different places. Like we have an amazing relationship with a resort in Anguilla, and so we're one of their preferred planners, and we have a couple weddings coming up with them. And like traveling to places like that and seeing how their culture is and like what colors that they're using, and even like local florals and from their food dishes. Like I think that that's like why our clients come to us, is because no wedding that we do looks the same. Whereas there are some planners that like I could see them published.
cutter.
Oh yeah, and I could be like, oh, that's so and so. Like I know exactly who
Yeah.
their style is. Their weddings look the same, and that's why their clients love them, and that's why they go to them because they want that style. But we're just not. We're not in that ballpark. We are like not cookie cutter whatsoever.
Yeah.
Which is like something that we keep saying in our branding videos. So we're just
Yeah,
like, that's
we're
like,
just
if
it
you're
just won't
coming,
happen. You
if
could
you're
give us the
coming
same
from
color
that-
scheme 100 times and it will
Yeah.
look completely different every time.
Are there any colors that are out right now? Like that you guys
I think
just
there's
despise?
there is a color. I grew up watching like 4 weddings and like everything, on
gosh.
all the wedding shows that every girl grew
like,
up
bright
watching.
purple.
The bright purple was so big in like
For, like, 2 years,
2012
yeah.
to like 2016, and now purple's way out of
It
there.
would be like absolutely not.
There's definitely colors that like you just don't see a lot. Orange,
did
if
purple,
done
didn't you?
done correctly, orange can be beautiful in a wedding. If done correctly, purple in a wedding. There's just certain colors that like I wouldn't. I say
kidding.
I would,
Dumb and
I would
Dumber.
like combine it. Like I would just want to make sure to like be like, what are you pairing?
Yeah.
it with? Like creating
Yeah.
a palette.
I would say like orange and
around it.
purple
That's
are
Clemson.
difficult.
That'd be because if you can't go Clemson if people
Yeah,
are
and especially like colors together sometimes can be some. But
Really
usually
hideous.
we can like. Someone's like, I want blue and green. Normally you would think school mascot,
right.
but we had the wedding
Yeah.
we designed with those colors was very pretty.
Wow.
Just gotta do it right.
What about masculine weddings? Is that a thing?
Oh my god, I love
I
modern
love
masculine.
I love.
What is it
yeah.
like?
That's
dark
my
and
type.
moody.
So like
More
really,
like just like
straight
clean cut
lines,
things,
clean,
straight
yeah.
lines,
Oh
Like, we
yeah.
had-
neutrals.
The
Yeah.
one that we were talking about with the bar, like that was like
was a masculine wedding.
browns and really like clean lines. Like the drapery fabric was just like more straight, and the
Yeah.
tablescapes had like
a
wood texture
neutral
tones to it. And so like I think playing around with stuff like that we love. I mean, not that we don't love the frilly fluff too, but like I think it's great to like kind of break it up and do
Yeah.
something else.
Nice. Do you guys coach people on like wedding day stuff?
What do you mean?
Like
Like the kiss.
how long?
How much
do they,
tongue to use?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
We do.
like-
We yeah. Well, a lot of times people
tell
are
them
in
to
general
practice.
nervous.
them to
Yeah,
practice.
tell them to
Tell them
practice.
practice.
A lot of people
and,
don't.
like,
They're
holding-
shocked at
So
how long their
holding
partner does it.
kisses, like doing
'Cause
the
it gets
dip.
weird.
Practice the dip,
dip.
going down the aisle. We at the
Yep.
rehearsal will make you practice the dip if you're doing the dip, because people
It's dangerous.
specifically
and
men
knowing how to
don't
turn your body,
know where to go.
Yeah,
and
I'm with you
hands.
on that. You
Yeah.
gotta. Well, what about like the finger feed or the cake side of it? Do you make sure you have that all?
We go over
Yeah.
that when they're doing the cake cutting.
Let's
So
say
like,
this, yeah,
you know,
we'll literally position them while like if they're doing the cake cutting, I'll be like,
let's
I'll go
switch.
around the bride.
Yeah.
Like, you're gonna hold her like this.
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah,
because you
that's
don't want
good.
an awkward picture.
No.
Or like an awkward
Right.
cake. That's that, because that lives on and people will make fun of you. Your family members will come for you. So
sure.
we got you.
And the smashing in the face.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Are you into that?
You have to talk about it,
So
right?
we
I
have
have
to
a hot
talk about
take.
it.
We have to talk about it
Yeah.
because
What is your hot take?
I don't think it's a hot take for the females. I think guys think it's so funny.
They do, but it's not funny.
The
And
amount
they're
of
not
money that
warned.
goes into the
Makeup,
facial,
Yes, you're talking like
Stuff.
$600 to do face makeup. Like
not even
you know,
makeup. Like people get, their eyebrows done,
Right.
their hair done. They probably
I've
have
never
hair
understood
extensions
it.
in.
You did the smash, didn't you?
I had. Well, I think you were leading the chant. So
My
we had-
gosh.
so at our wedding, my wife said like, we are not doing it. Absolutely not. I've known people that did it impromptu, and
Maybe at
we
the
are
end of the night
never
we get
doing
hurt,
that.
too.
And I was like, all right, I didn't even know it was
Yeah.
a thing when I was getting married.
I
So
say
was like,
if you
won't do it.
get the photo out of the way, and then it's 100% consensual.
Agreed upon. Yeah.
Go
But
for
they,
it.
But they started chanting. Do
I
it.
mean, I believe
like she
that.
was getting ready to do the bite thing, like feed it to me,
Right.
and the whole venue started chanting, "Do it."
Well, I think
And
it also
eventually she
depends
just
on the
did it.
type that you're
Yeah,
doing. If
she
you're
did
doing,
it.
Oh, she
No,
smashed
she
you.
did it to me.
Okay, that's
Oh,
fair.
that's fine.
That's okay.
He had a lot of
I
makeup
I
to
didn't have
recover
a lot of makeup, so I was fine with it.
You washing cake off your face is very different than her washing.
I
cake
think
off
also
her
if it's like a
face.
little like a little bit on your nose, like if you're like smashing the
Yeah.
girl's
Oh
face
no,
into
it
the cake,
was
that's
like
a no.
Oh,
yeah, no,
okay.
it was a piece of cake, but just flat.
I think
in
you're
my
gonna need
face.
to insert
Unless it's
picture.
pre-planned, like if it's agreed upon, go for it.
Right, it was agreed not.
Everyone
to.
need okay, yeah.
it's
Well,
agreed not to.
see,
But there's chanting. If you have 100 people chanting,
What are you gonna do?
peer pressure.
like even if you were standing up there and 100 people were chanting to do it
tough.
to your
It's tough
wife,
to say no.
you're like,
yeah, but 100 people for one wedding night or the rest of your life getting
that's
shit
true,
for it.
right? That's true. I
He
wouldn't
went
do it.
really deep on the garter thing too. Like he
oh,
was
yeah.
in
Garter
there for
toss?
Yeah, too long.
He was
under
in
there.
Those are
for-
out.
Those are
Speaking
out.
of like trends,
Yeah.
coming out.
All the good stuff's going away.
dollar
Yeah,
dances.
but in front of like your grandma.
Yeah,
The
that's
dollar
like the
dances
best.
are
It's
like
like the
cultural.
awkwardness.
Yeah. No, doing it in front of grandma is not okay.
And there's always the moment when you can tell the bride's like, "All right,
It's
too
time.
long.
Yeah.
He's been
It's
in
too
there
long.
too
Yeah.
long," and he's like struggling because it's a
Right.
little too tight or something.
Right.
Oh my god.
Oh man, yeah.
We
the
don't
garters
see that
are-
a lot.
No,
They're
I don't
still
think any of
throwing-
them.
They're still throwing the bouquet, right?
Occasionally,
Occasionally.
that's
really?
on. I think the outs.
Yeah. We've seen a lot of like traditionals where the bouquet will get like given to like mom or like someone or like grandma or like someone special. So they'll like do like a little
the
like gift,
dedication.
like a
It's
a nice
dedication to
touch.
them, which is
It
great.
also depends on where you are. Like I would say, this is everything that we're saying is kind of the norm for like Charleston weddings, and it's kind of
Or, like,
it's kind
Southern,
of a
yeah.
bubble. My sister just got married a few months ago or a few weeks ago, and she had certain things that were like, "What? This is so normal." And she lives in Arkansas,
Oh boy.
and so those weddings are a lot different. Like she was talking about proxy bride.
Oh yeah, I was like, what?
Like you have like
What is
you have
that?
a stand-in bride on the rehearsal, so that
so she doesn't rehearse.
so she doesn't rehearse. She
what?
sits in
Yeah.
the audience,
Like an actor, like a stuntman.
Like
So,
your friend.
Yeah, like your friend.
like one of your
Wow.
bride. Yeah,
I,
and-
did the same with the groom too, or is it the real
Yeah,
groom?
no,
Why?
The
no,
real
it's the real
groom.
groom,
Yeah.
but like it's like
It was kind
she,
of.
and my sister was like, "This everyone does this here," and I'm like, "I believe you, but it's not a thing in
I mean,
Charleston."
in 16 years, even doing
I had
weddings
never heard of
all over
that.
the world, like I've never heard of this. And so I was
Yeah.
like, because I asked her, I was like, "Come on up, we're gonna go through." And she's like,
like,
"Oh
"No."
no," and I was like, "What? What do you?"
Is
mean?
that just like superstitious? Like
I think it probably has.
I
Something
think
to
it's
do
a
with that.
way to. Southern weddings have really big bridal parties, and I think it's a way to include someone
oh,
who
That
you
you
don't
didn't
have.
want
You're gonna
as
be
Not
like
much.
necessarily
right.
room in your bridal party, but a way to like include just another person in a special.
I need
a
you to
different
practice
way.
the kiss with my groom.
That's what I was
Yeah.
thinking.
No
You can't do the
kissing.
dip.
No
kissing.
kissing.
No
But
kissing.
Megan stepped in, my sister, for
Yeah.
to practice the dip. But like
Yeah.
I had never heard of that.
Yeah, it's
And they
crazy.
do, bridal tosses and bouquets are huge there. That's like a
Yeah.
must. And in Charleston, it's not really a thing.
Do you think there's anything to it? Like if you caught the bouquet, are you more likely to get married first?
I think
just puts it in
no.
the environment.
I think it's.
I mean, if
energy
you're
thing.
fighting
Are
for
you,
that,
like-
you deserve it. At that point, like, I hope your man's watching because he.
I mean, honestly, I love the ones where the bridesmaid who doesn't want to catch it is like over on the side, just like drinking
Yeah.
her drink and looking at it.
And the
right,
bride,
like they're
like,
crazy,
purposely.
right?
Yeah.
But I mean, maybe it's like a manifestation, like they're manifesting it, and that's kind of what they
I'm
want.
into manifesting.
I mean, or maybe it's a sign to the guy who hasn't proposed yet, and they're like, "Okay, I'm going to catch this because I really want him to know that I'm ready to get married."
Yeah.
I've
So,
seen
yeah.
like videos where someone catches it and the pans over to the guy and he's like running away. Like, no.
Or people ripping it out of each other's hands.
Yes.
I've seen that
it-
too.
oh,
They get
people don't
feisty.
play.
Yeah.
People, yeah.
But we never use the actual bride's bouquet for that.
Yeah.
So we have like a
We have a stamp.
separate one that we toss so that she can keep hers. Yeah.
Or gift it. A lot
Or
of people are
gift it.
gifting them to like mom.
That's nice. Let's talk about you guys using the word bespoke on your website.
Yeah.
I had to look it up, but I think it matches from what you guys. I was like, who's
Yeah.
using bespoke? I was like, what is?
I mean,
this?
it's just like a custom like way to like kind
Yeah.
of curate and customize something that's like different. I mean, I think that when you're looking at like a planner or you're trying to find like that perfect match for you, like having someone who is really like we tailor everything. We bespoke. We don't have like a specific package for anything.
Yeah.
So we talk to them. We kind of, I mean, venue requirements are, making sure that we're abiding by those, but then also like going over their priorities, their budget, like what are they looking to do. So yeah, bespoke is
I
a
don't
great
know.
way to
What
explain
did
that.
What did it say when you saw it?
I looked it up. It said or I looked at it said made for a particular customer or user.
Oh, that
It's
is
like a
good.
British
Very custom.
adjective.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not very good at grammar. or
That's
any of that
okay.
stuff,
I'm
yeah.
not either,
I was
without, like-
doodling on my.
Yeah.
All right, my last question was so you're engaged?
I am.
Newly.
This is perfect.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Tell us what your ideal wedding would look like then.
Oh,
like,
man.
because you have to. Are you planning it now or not?
We are in the midst.
We are in the midst.
The wedding
Okay.
planners.
So walk
planning
us
her
through
wedding.
your process for you.
So, God, I've never, even being like a wedding planner, I've never been like the Pinterest bride. Like
Really?
I had no idea, honestly, until 3 days ago of even like what design that I might want. So I think that the process has been a little different than what I was like, expecting. But it's really important. Like his family is really small and mine is huge. But he is an introvert and I am an extrovert. We're like complete opposites. So it's like important for me, for us to like for him to be able to like feel comfortable, have a
Yeah.
smaller event. I could invite, if I would invite half the people from Charleston that we are obviously really close with, that we work with all the time. I mean, our guest count would be like
Crazy.
in the hundreds. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that like kind of just going back to what we were saying earlier, like that kind of guest experience. I want my guests to come and I want them to eat amazing food and I want us to dance on the dance floor and,
Yeah.
some like little like details and customization with, whether we do a caviar bar or we kind of have some fun with like seafood. Like I love
Yeah.
seafood, and obviously being in Charleston, it was important for me to like not feel that it was work.
Right.
So we picked a venue that we've never personally, we're on their preferred list, but we've never actually done a wedding with them. So
really?
my wedding will be the first wedding that we do there.
Are you doing a bunch of dresses or what's your dress count?
So we're starting a bridal line, Michael Addison Bridal. So I will
Open now.
open now in Charleston. Come see
Michael
us.
Addison.
Michael Addison Bridal. So yes, we will do. I want to do a ceremony dress, something that's a little bit more traditional, and then I want to like have something that's a little bit more fun to like dance in and hang out and get down. I love to dance. So
Will you guys do a lot of tongue on your first kiss?
we will not. I think that like with the way that he is, like even just like really honestly talking about like where do your hands
He wants to
hands
just get
go?
it done.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, babe, we do have to hold it for more than 2 seconds though, because the photographer
Yeah.
has to get a picture.
Yeah. He's
So,
gonna be so
we're gonna have to
sweaty.
practice. We're gonna have to practice
sure.
that.
Does he have sweaty hands? Is he a sweaty hand
He's
guy?
not a sweaty
Okay,
person.
good.
I mean, even when he works out, it's honestly annoying. Like he can do a full blown workout and be fine.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how is that possible?
Right.
I, on the other hand, I'm not that.
I can do
lucky.
that, but it's because of my Botox.
Well, yeah, that's fair. I just need to get Botox. There you go.
How I'm kind of invested in this now.
Okay,
How did he propose to you?
So he proposed in Cartagena. We were visiting. So my brother-in-law is from Cartagena in Colombia. So we took my entire family for my 40th birthday and went up and there was like 18 of us there. So we rented a villa.
Wow.
And hung out. And it was really weird though, because we actually did Puerto Rico right before that. So we were in Puerto Rico for 3 days, just the two of us. We rode AVs through the rainforest. It was like so romantic, waterfalls, all the things. And I was like, okay, if it's happening, this is when it's going to happen. And no, it didn't happen. And so I was like, okay, well then now it's not happening.
I love that move.
So I was like, all right.
You get it all ready, and then you go down to tie your shoe, and then you
It's
do it
just
a
like,
week later in a
right.
random
No,
spot.
completely random. So we were in Cartagena. Our last night there, we were going out for family dinner, and my girlfriend and I were in my room getting ready, and I was curling my hair. She was trying on a couple of my outfits, and then he was like pacing. And I'm like, babe, just go outside and
Poor
go grab
guy.
a drink. Like, it's
Yeah,
fine. And
relax.
he was like, no, he was like, it's hot. I mean, it was really hot while we were there. He was like, it's hot. I'll just wait. So I was like, okay, fine. And so I get ready, and then my girlfriend leaves, and I walk out of our room because there's like a full length mirror, and you're checking yourself out. I'm turning 40. I was having a little bit of a connection, and I was like,
I've
okay,
been there.
I think I
get
think I
it.
look okay. And I came back into the room, and he was standing there, and he was like, you look so beautiful tonight. Will you wear this with your dress? I think it would match perfectly. And I like looked down, I saw the ring. I mean, after that, I kind of blacked out, but like lost it.
And that's
so-
like perfect for you guys because
It
he
was.
is such like a nervous person. I think any sort
Yeah.
of public
Oh,
would not be his
he would
vibe.
have never
like,
done.
this-
Yeah.
you two
was
in the
great.
room. That
But
was
no one
perfect
knew.
for you
No one
guys.
knew. My parents didn't know. Like my friends didn't know. My sister didn't know. So of course everybody's like, "Did you get video of it? Did you get video?" And I was like, "No, it was just
I
the
kind
two
of
of
love
us."
that though, because then
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
just like
that's
you
nice.
It was
two.
special.
And then you told me like we flew to Miami like the next day, or
So
like
we
2
were
days later.
flying. Yeah. So that was our last
And I'm
night.
in the bathroom like doing my makeup or whatever. I just got off like a red eye, and I was only there for a few hours to meet her. And she comes and she goes, "I think we need some champagne." I'm like,
It was like 8
a.m.
a.m.
I mean, okay. And I come out, I'm like, okay, should we like pop it just for fun? She's like, I'm like, oh, okay. I mean, I was down, but
That's awesome.
But she, it was really surprising. So
crazy.
it was great though.
because every time you went on a trip, I was like,
Oh, we've been on multiple trips. I mean,
we
we've been together for a decade. So I mean, we've
Oh,
been together
wow.
for 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind
had
of
had the
like-
ring for a while too, and so
For a
every time
while.
you went on a little trip or like a music festival, I was like, what's gonna
We
work
went. This
on?
is so funny. We went to Spain. We had a little too much fun at the beach one day and decided to. We love festivals, which is why I love doing festivals. But Alt J, I don't know if you guys are familiar with that band, but if you're not, check them out. They're amazing. Came on. We were at Tides Hotel in Charleston, and we went up to the bar. We were having some drinks, and they came on the radio, and I was like, "Oh my god, I really want to see these guys, but they never come to the U.S." And he was like, "Okay, let's just see where they're playing." And they were playing at Mad Cool Fest in Madrid, and he was like, "Let's go." We literally bought the next morning. I woke up. I was like, "Did we
love
really
people like
buy
that.
tickets to Madrid?" So we did, and so we planned it. And then, like, I thought that during that festival, because we love to travel and go to festivals, I was like, "This is definitely going to happen." We were walking through this like beautiful park, and we come up on this like statue thing, and it was. I guess really bad things used to happen in that park.
Oh.
And so it was like dedicated to a woman who had
no.
like been something bad had happened to her. And so they dedicated this thing to her. And he was like, he was going to propose in that park and totally like read
you
all
learned
of
the
this stuff
history
about the park. And he was like, I couldn't do it. He had the ring in his pocket and everything.
That's funny.
So he was like, so I couldn't do it. And he was like, and then the rest of the time I was just completely like,
That would have been some bad juju.
Yeah. So,
That is wild.
so he would have done it then. And then, but I mean, it worked out perfectly. So we're still in the process of planning and we're getting married. And
It's slowly but
4
surely
months.
coming together. We have a deadline because we have a date, but
We do
we'll
have
get
a
it
date.
done. We'll get the planning
Yeah.
done.
That's great.
Anything you guys want to push to the Columbia market? Have you guys done any events in Columbia?
It's been no, like not recently. I think that like the Columbia market. I mean, you guys have a lot of gorgeous venues up here. I think that like one thing with Intrigue is that even though we're based in Charleston, we love to travel and we're always open to new markets. So
Destinations like
Are
kind
amazing.
of what we're not
Known
necessarily
for.
shifting
Yeah.
gears
Sure.
for, but kind of what we're striving to do.
yeah,
Not only do we like love to travel, we like to like just incorporate new places. So destination is
yeah.
And
I mean, hit us up.
How quickly, like you guys are booking out a year, or how?
It depends.
Yeah.
Like we've had like we just booked a client getting married in October, just
Yeah.
like a few weeks ago. So depending on
What it is and
what it
what
is,
date.
you know, what the client is like, you know, if it's again a person that the vibe's not going to match, like we're not going to, you know, it's not going to work out in 3 months.
You check their Instagram. They
but-
send you a DM. You check their Instagram.
You just, you know, we got to do
Yeah,
background. Like
yeah.
since we're, you know, we're talking to you so much,
Yeah,
like, and if
yeah.
we don't get along, it's going to be bad for both of us.
Yep.
But
But typically,
you know,
a
if
year.
the you know
Yeah.
if the budget's right and the just in general like things are fitting into place, like we can book
can
you
do
whenever.
anything,
We
but-
prefer like the longer the better.
Right.
Like
Right.
we've had clients like
Right.
a year and a half out, and you know we won't really talk to them until that year mark, and that's when we start like cranking everything out. But I would say like a year is
Yeah, a year is
ideal.
good.
A year to like 6 months would be preferred.
Yeah.
A year to 9 months.
Yep.
Nice.
Perfect. And then, so your do you want to say your websites and all your, do you know
Oh,
all
sure.
your handles?
Instagram.
All the
Grams.
things. So our website for the wedding side is get-intrigued, get-intrigued.com. Our corporate site is Intrigue Events. And Michael Addison, just because I'm super excited about it, is michaeladdisonbridal.com. I named it after, so my middle name is Michael. I was named after my dad.
Nice.
And my little sister was named after my grandmother. So Addison, that's where the name comes from. Wow. So to kind
Love
of
it.
keep it in the family.
Instagram
But
is
yeah,
at
Instagram.
Get Intrigued,
Yeah.
and then at Michael Addison Bridal.
You guys want people following you personally?
Sure, we love
You can
connecting with
find
people. Yeah, I mean, Molly, you can find a little bit more. Mine's Chelsye Michael. Molly is known a little bit more than
It's
I
just
am.
my name, I think.
But yeah, Molly Moore.
Molly Moore.
Nice. Go watch Southern Hospitality.
Season 4 is coming. It's going to be great. There's a lot of stuff going on in our friend group right now. So it's going to be
Yes.
gonna be
I
interesting.
think it's going to be the wildest season you've seen.
Love that.
It's crazy. So watch that.
Spicy.
Come see us.
Yeah.
You know, we'll plan any event for you.
We love it.
All
This
right.
has been amazing.
This has been so
thanks for coming.
fun.
Thank
This is
you.
great.
It's like talking to
for
our best
having
friends.
us. I know.
We're here for the health of it.
For the health of it.